Okay, we're going to start now. Everybody comfortable? First, let me say thank you very much for being here. We at Gallery of Local Art, also known as GOLA, are very excited to be hosting this series of what I'm calling Turtle Talk on the Terrace, Turtle Talks on the Terrace. My name is Sarah Berman. I'm an artist here at Gallery of Local Art. And we're doing this to raise money for our beloved Flagler Turtle Patrol and our volunteers. We've all seen them out there, and season is beginning. As a matter of fact, the season starts tomorrow. We learned that at Turtle Talk on the Terrace 1. Tomorrow is when they begin being out there on their ATVs and staking out the nests. We all know, we've all seen that, right? And there's two already, at least that I've seen. And Lori Ottline, our speaker, can fill you in on all of that. Lori can provide us with a brief overview of what Nick Port discussed at the first Turtle Talk. He gave us kind of a general outline of everything. And Lori will get into more specifics about what she does, what the volunteers do, about the nest evaluations, all the really exciting stuff, especially nest adoptions. So I know we're all interested in that. And as I said, this is a fundraiser. And Marge Barnhill, the woman who owns Gallery of Local Art, has pledged to match up to $500 whatever is raised during these 4 talks. So that's pretty exciting. And I want to point out this fantastic poster that somebody made for us. And we can move this little magnetic turtle up into the ocean depending on how much money we manage to raise. And when we're finished here, you can all mosey into GOLA if you wish. The artists here, very talented artists, have put their best turtle foot forward with their turtle art. So pop in there, have a look. And then before you leave, be sure to vote for your favorite on the art wall, which the folks inside will explain to you. It's turtle themed this month. So in honor of April is Turtle Month. And so any questions so far of me? No? Okay. I'm going to turn it over to Lori now. Thank you very much for coming again. And
well, thank you guys for being here. I'm Lori Ottline. I volunteer for the Flagler Turtle Patrol, and I've been doing that for many years. So I know there's some people here that are also on Turtle Patrol and some that used to be on Turtle Patrol. It's a really, really, really rewarding, fun volunteer job. It's great. So what we do, start of the season, we go out and we take the ATV, or sometimes we have to walk. You don't know, if the weather's not right, if the tide's not right, if the ramp isn't right. Sometimes we have to walk, but we're out there every single day. So we go out every single day and monitor the beach. We start out right here on 100, we go all the way to Snack Jacks, and then we come all the way back and go all the way to Beverly Beach and take care of Beverly Beach. So it's quite a ride, and it's really rewarding. Right now, we used to start May 1st, but turtles are coming a little earlier, so we're starting April 15th. So we already have 2 leatherback nests, which is pretty much unbelievable. We hardly get any leatherbacks. We usually get loggerheads, and later on in the season, we get greens. And I'll look over there on those posters in a little bit and let you know a little bit more about our turtles. But we go out on the beach every morning, we look for their tracks, we figure out what kind of turtle it is, where they came up, where they went down, and where they laid their eggs. So we mark it off. I'm sure like everyone has seen the boundary with the stakes and the ribbon, put a sign on it, do not touch, and then we move on and hopefully get more. Now when you adopt a nest, we put a little adoption sign on there that says adopted by you. So we monitor every nest every day. And then in a certain amount of days, when they're getting ready to hatch, we watch them a little bit closer. Then when they hatch, we mark that as an emergence, and we call the adopter and tell them their nest has hatched. So we wait 3 days. Give Mother Nature 3 days for all those babies to crawl out on their own. So as they're crawling out, they're heading straight to the ocean in the middle of the night, dark glow, dark moon, doesn't matter. As long as there's a glow on the beach, that's where they go. So that's why it's so important to not have fires, not to have flashlights, not to have street lights, because they'll go to the brightest light. Even if there's a fire 2 blocks away, they'll head to that fire. So if you're out on the beach, which I know kids just love going out on the beach and looking for crabs and stuff, well, we have these lights you can get, and they're red. Turtles can't see that. The LED on these lights, doesn't matter, they can't see it. So if you're out on the beach, you can still use it to find sand crabs and stuff like that, but you won't be disturbing the hatchlings or the mothers. Because if a mother's coming up and she sees the bright lights, she'll just kind of sit there, kind of look, turn around, and go back to the ocean. So she may come up again the next night, or she may come up a little bit further down the beach where it's a little bit darker, or if she tries hard enough and can't get on the beach where it looks like a safe area for her eggs, she'll just drop those eggs in the ocean, and that's a whole clutch of babies lost. Only 1 in 1,000, they say, lives to adulthood. They don't become mature enough to lay eggs until they're 25 years old. So they have to do a whole lot in that 25 years. They do come back. That's why right now we're having a lot of cold stunned turtles, and what most of them are is small greens. We call them juvie greens. They're only about this big, and they still come back every season and every year and kind of go along the coast. They're in the intercoastal, kind of just knowing that they're going to come back here when it's time for them to lay their eggs. They all eat different things. With our posters over here, everybody has a job. So our loggerhead, the very first one, that is kind of our meat and potatoes. They're the ones that we get the most nests of. She's called a loggerhead because she has a huge head. And her skull is right back here on that table. You can see how big she is, her head. She has a beak. The mouth is called a beak. And it's so strong so she can crush shells, she can crush shrimp, she can crush things. And that's her favorite food. They all kind of eat seagrass here and there, but her major food is crustacean and that kind of stuff. She gets to be about 350 pounds. Like I said, she's just very big with a very big head. The second one that we get is called the green. Greens have a smaller head, but their beak is sharper because they're vegetarians. So they like to nibble all the seagrass that's on the pilings, on boats, that kind of stuff. And they're called greens because their fat is green. And they're vegetarians. Then we have the leatherback. The green will get to be like 400 pounds, 450 pounds. Then we have Miss Leatherback. She is the hugest turtle in the world. She averages between 800 to 1,200 pounds. And her major diet is jellyfish. That's what she just loves. She eats lots of jellyfish. So to get that big, she would have to. She dives the deepest. She swims the furthest. She's pretty amazing. We don't usually get them here that often because she likes to nest in warmer waters. So she nests down south a lot more. Or in other countries, like she loves Panama. But we do have 2. We already have 2 of them this year, which is pretty amazing. We don't have any of the others yet, but they'll be coming soon, I'm sure. So one thing is very, very important. I have this little poster, and people don't really understand when they leave something on the beach how long it's going to be there. It's going to be there a long time. Things don't go away. And it's hard to believe that some things can last like even 450 years floating around in the ocean. So whenever you go to the beach, the best thing to do, just pick up 3 things. Just pick up 3 pieces of garbage if you can. If you have a bag, fill your bag. Because that saves sea turtles, saves everything. Because if you would see a bag floating in the ocean, like a bag from Publix or whatever, and it's getting water in it and it's going like this, it looks just like a jellyfish. So that leatherback's going to eat it. And then you have to watch out for balloons. If you let... That's okay. No, they can breathe, but what will happen is it'll get all wrapped up in their intestines. So they won't be able to eat because they won't be able to go. So that's what happens with that. But the best thing to do is just pick up garbage. Just pick up garbage off the beach. That's such an important thing to do for saving sea turtles, because there's not a whole lot else that we can do except protect their nest, clean the beach, keep it dark, keep it quiet. Those are the most important things to do. So you can all look at this poster later, because you'll be kind of shocked at how long things actually do last down there. 600 years. Yes, isn't that something? I mean, it's just crazy that things can last that long. But they sure do. And in this little bag here, I mean, look at that. That's just crazy to just be floating. Even in newspaper, you would think that would dissolve, but it really doesn't. Another important thing we have on the beach is we have people that aren't from around here. So they might not know this is a tortoise, this is a turtle. So the turtle, of course, has flippers. Tortoise has feet. So when you see this walking on the beach, he might be walking on the beach to go towards the ocean, but he can't go in the ocean. So that's important to educate people.
Yeah. Why is there a tortoise on that picture?
Well, I'm not real sure, but I don't think the person who did it meant that to happen. These allergies are just killing me. But yeah, we'll just have to pretend that's not there. I don't know if you can put this there. I don't know, yeah. But she just didn't know that that's what it was. So, but anyway, that's the most important thing, is to pick up garbage and take care of the beach, keep it dark and quiet. And we monitor it every day. And it's a good thing to adopt a nest, because if you adopt a nest, you get to be part of us. You get to have your name on the nest. You get to come when we evaluate it. We evaluate it, like I said, 3 days after it hatches. We go in, and we're supposed to just be going in to count how many made it, how many didn't, and submit those statistics. But Turtle Patrol is more interested in getting that little straggler out of there that's down there at the bottom of the nest, where all the sand has fallen down on top of her. And the nest is as deep as my arm. So you might have this little guy down here who hatched last, and all these eggshells are on top of him, then all this sand is on top of him, and then we rescue him. And that's really, well, we just get excited about that. And then we release them. So even though what we're doing, we're supposed to be doing it all for science and conservation and that kind of thing, but that one little hatchling on the bottom, when we find him and let him go, it's quite exciting. So do you have any questions? Except that one.
Yeah. Can you talk about the nest adoption a little bit?
Yep. So the nest adoption form, you can go to Flagler Turtle Patrol on the computer, and it says, how can I help? And you got to drop down there where it says adoptions. And you can adopt a turtle nest. There's 3 different ways of doing it, 3 different kinds. You can be there for the active one, or you can just let us take pictures and send them to you, or you can just kind of give us money. If you live far away and you're not coming to the beach, it's good too. We'll send pictures. And that way you can come and, like I said, they put the little sign on there, and you can come and see us do the evaluation and help rescue babies. I'm pretty sure there's forms back here. So if you don't want to do the computer thing, just grab a form.
Is there a cost to that?
They're all 3 different levels. So the active one is $65, and that's the one where your name gets on the nest. We call you 3 days before we do it, and you come down to the beach while we do the evaluation. And then there's one where we'll call and tell you about it, and then maybe take pictures. And then there's other ones where you just want to give us money, and we'll send you pictures because you might live in Colorado and you're not coming here. It's really a good thing to do for birthday presents, Christmas presents, and that kind of stuff too. Because, I mean, you can buy somebody so many different things, but to adopt a turtle nest is pretty exciting. We already have a whole bunch of those. I mean, we have a bunch of people that did it for Christmas presents and birthday presents. So, and it's just something I've been doing this for 26 years, and I still can't believe how excited I get. It's just crazy. Everyone is just perfect. It's crazy. But once you see one, that's it. You're done. That's it. You want everything to do turtles. Anything else? I know it's like kind of a short talk because
Are all both species protected?
all of them are protected. Right now they're coming back really well. They're coming back really. When I first started, leatherbacks were really on the verge of extinction. Most of that had to do with kind of where they nest, because okay, our beaches are okay. We don't have hotels on the beach and that kind of stuff. Volusia does, but they mostly nest down south. You know, so there's lots of hotels, there's lots of lights, there's lots of commotion, and they also go to other countries where they didn't really have that great of kind of laws protecting them. And there's a lot of countries out there that really used to do poaching, but probably been about 20 years now. We went to Costa Rica, and we kind of visited with the poachers, basically. Because if your grandfather was a turtle poacher, you were, your father, everybody. It was just a family thing, and that's just how it worked. So we went and visited with them. I guess it is about 20 years ago, and we talked with them. We traded shirts and that kind of stuff, and they turned it into a tourist thing. So now they do turtle talks and turtle walks. So it works out really well. They do it in Panama. They do it almost everywhere now. Years ago it wasn't so good, but now things have gotten a lot better. They really have. And they probably, I think right now there's the highest number they've ever had of leatherbacks down south. So it's really kind of booming down there. But like I said, they like the warmer water, they like the, quietness, and there's a place down there, Archie Carr Refuge in Melbourne. And that's kind of wide open and quiet, and it's really a great place. There's just a few houses, but not really. They turn their lights off, and you can do turtle walks down there with them, sign up, and you just kind of go out on the beach at night and walk along. Disney does it too, and they just watch for a turtle coming up to nest. They make sure she's laying her eggs. When she's laying her eggs, she's kind of in a trance, so she really doesn't notice that you're there. And then she lays her eggs, buries them, and moves on.
Were those actually found on the beach? Or
Yep.
were they just
Some of them were found on the beach. Most of them were just my props. Nah, that would be so nasty. No. Those are just stuff that I got. Yeah. And thank goodness the diaper wasn't found on the beach.
Oh no.
I know.
There are diapers though.
Yeah. It's crazy.
And that first nest that we had this year was spotted by somebody picking trash up on the beach.
Yep.
That's who called me in.
Yep.
She was out there picking up trash and saw the trash.
She had a bucket full of trash.
Is it true that where they birth, they come back to that area to lay
They do.
eggs?
It's not exactly determined like right there, but that area. Like a few years ago, we had the turtles in Flagler and the turtles in Volusia tested. Their DNA was tested, and we have different DNA from the Volusia turtles than we have in Flagler. But yep, they come back to wherever they were born. And of course, sometimes it's crazy because that's just how we are. We'll see one nest and then 2 days. Now they nest 4 to 5 times, maybe 6 times a season. So we'll have one nest and it'll be there, then another one the next day. We're sure it's sisters. It's like, oh look, our sisters have nested again.
If there's an empty nest, like an old nest from another turtle, and a grown-up turtle is getting ready to lay their egg, but they haven't dug their nest yet, do they sometimes use the old one?
No, they just dig it up.
Oh, they don't use the old one if they do one?
Nope, they make their very own. Now there are times when turtles, not so much here because we don't have as many, but down south you'll see them where the moms are coming up and laying their eggs, burying their eggs, and the babies are hatching, coming out of a different nest right next to it.
Tell them about the number in the nest.
So we have the 45 to 70 days before it hatches. So we're really not sure. We're not allowed to do a lot of things anymore that we used to do because we have a lot of people that aren't nice. So we have to kind of backtrack and kind of not say things, which is crazy.
How many hatchlings per nest?
Usually anywhere from like 85 to 120 eggs. And they mostly all make it to the ocean, but like I said, only 1 in 1,000 will make it to come back.
How many nests did we have last year?
Last year we had 229. That's just in Flagler Beach.
Yes.
And then I think we had over 800 all the way down the line.
You mean the 14 miles?
Oh no, not the 14 miles, just our little Flagler Beach miles.
What,
Yeah, 5 miles.
about how many in that 14-mile stretch? Would
I
you
think there was like 800.
It was almost 900.
Yeah.
We do have a newsletter that goes out that if you sign up for the newsletter, go online, sign up for the newsletter, you'll get a
Yep,
report
you get
at
the
end of
newsletter.
season about all of the nests and the progress.
And when they do the dredging, not last year, the year before, when they were doing the dredging and putting new sand up, we were sure that once their barges and dredgers moved north, that the moms would come up because there was so much action out there, they hardly came up. And what happened is they took the sand from offshore, which they had to do, took the sand from offshore, put it up on the beach. So that sand came from kind of where the turtles are foraging. So all that sand is up on the beach, and they just didn't nest. They just did not nest that whole season very much. That was like the lowest season ever. But then they came back last year full and strong.
What area close to here would you say has the highest concentration of mamas coming up and laying? I think Nick mentioned something about a bit farther.
They kind of like it a little bit, like in our area that we monitor, they kind of like it up a little bit north because it's quieter.
Yeah.
There's no houses, there's just people, there's no street lights. So there's more nests up that way.
And what about farther south, not in our area?
Oh,
Is there
Melbourne.
particular-
Melbourne and further south have
Is it
tons
Melbourne?
of turtles. Yeah. That's why they're able to do the turtle walks. Because you can pretty much guarantee every night you're going to see one, you know? Here, we don't know. We never know.
Do you tag the turtles no ones right now?
No. Now, if they're hurt, we have a lot coming in right now with strandings. And those turtles are mostly smaller, but what happens when they get cold stunned? Or other ones get hit by boats and stuff like that. But when they come up, we take them to the turtle hospital, and they do tag them then, pit tag them, and they put a little, just like the dog gets. And we have a pit tag scanner to see it, but most of the time, they're gone. They don't come back.
I started to say, several years ago, we thought I had relatives in and they wanted to see the turtle nest, so I made the mistake of going to an area down south where there was a lot of high rises,
Well,
and we didn't see turtles. You know, we were there for 3 nights and we didn't see turtles, and then the last night we finally got to see 2, but we realized once we got there that it was so lit up.
yeah,
Moms weren't coming to that area, even though it was in the Melbourne area.
right.
So you have to, if you're gonna do that, you have to be careful where you park
Yep,
yourself.
you have to go to, and the parks are closed at dark, but the Archie Carter Wildlife Refuge is pretty much the place that we go if we want to go see them. So we'll go down there usually July, because in July you still have moms coming up, and you got babies hatching. So you can go down there and sit and you can see 6 or 7 turtles coming up all night long, back and forth. They have so many that they don't mark them like we do. They just kind of mark them, GPS them, and then ride over the tracks so they know it's already been counted. And they don't really do that many evaluations. I think they're the ones that do like 1 every 10 or something like that, but we do every single one. Yeah. In the dark, they just come up. We have had daytime. I think they actually had a leatherback daytime nester this morning down south. But most of the time it's just in the dark because they're guided by coming up in the dark, and they're guided back to the ocean by the glow of the moon. So it's always in the middle of the night. There's times, you go out there and you sit there and you wait and you wait. You got to get real lucky around here. Real lucky.
Yeah.
You hardly ever see them. Most of the time you can, the vicinity. Like some people want like 4 nests at South 23rd Street. Well, I have no idea if that turtle's going to lay there. But if you give us an area, it'll be safe. It's just hard to say where they're going to come. Now, we don't know yet about this year with the new dredging project, if we're going to relocate nests, which we did have to do with the old project. We had to relocate the nest because they were going to dump 10, 12 feet of sand on top. So what we do, we see the nest, we dig them up, we take the eggs out, put them in a cooler. We take them out exactly the way the mom did, and we move them to a safer area. Replicate the nest pretty much exactly the same. Measure the depth and put them back in just the way she did. Cover them back up and monitor them. And we've been very successful. That's a successful way. You have to do it before 9 o'clock in the morning because you don't know when she nested. She could have nested at 10 o'clock, she could have nested at 5 a.m. So you have to do it by 9 a.m. in case she was a 10 o'clock nester, and so the embryo doesn't attach to the shell, and you could disrupt it. So it has to be done by 9 a.m.
So for folks who live along the beach, has it already started that you are supposed to have all your blinds closed?
Well, it doesn't really start till May 1st, that's the law.
Okay.
But we're starting April 1st, and we already have 2, so yeah, shut the blinds.
Yeah, so I was thinking that last night when I was like, oh, it's start closing.
Yeah.
And then also, I don't know if you've already mentioned it, but one of the other ways besides picking up trash is filling in holes.
Yep.
Near me, I just am constantly coming across, stuff kids dig up a big hole and then leave it. Or
Yeah.
umbrellas or, other things that
Yeah.
created holes in the sand.
I mean, and I don't really understand it, but maybe I did it as a kid, I don't remember. But you dig up your hole, well, you fill it back in. And it's safer. I mean, the turtles could fall into it, a mom could head first into it, people walking the beach could fall into the hole, hatchlings could fall into the hole. Yeah, you have to definitely do that. And no fires on the beach and no holes. We have little things we put out there on the beach for those, but
Is all the seaweed that's out there now impede them at all?
nope. Mm-mm. They'll go right over it. They don't care. The hatchings would probably get a little bit stuck on it, but not really. I mean, we have it coming up. Sometimes, like when we have storms, we look for washbacks, which are turtles that have already hatched, went to the ocean, they're out there a couple of months, month or two, not sure, and then they're floating on the seaweed because they leave the beach and they head out to the sargassum. And they sit on that sargassum and just kind of float around for up to a year or two till they get just a little bit bigger. And then they break away and go who knows where. But when that sargassum comes in, it brings in the things that we call washbacks. And then we have to take them to the turtle hospital. And once we get like usually about 2,000 of them, because it does happen a lot, the Coast Guard takes them offshore, finds a sargassum and puts them back in. So everybody's loving sea turtles these days. That's good. Yeah.
Lori, can you kind of talk about what the hours are for the volunteers who go out and work the beach?
Well, we never really know when we're getting off the beach, but we start half an hour before daylight. And that's basically so we can see the tracks. Nobody's been walking on the turtle tracks. We know, so we can see them and identify them a lot better. And then we don't know. You have one nest, no nest. You might start at 6:30 in the morning, 6 in the morning. You might be done by 8. You might be done by 7. You could start at 6 or 6:30 and be done by 4. So you just never know. So when you're on that turtle patrol day, you're on that day, all day.
So the turtles are identified by the markings
By their
on the
tracks.
so
Mhm.
not walk on the tracks.
Yep. Yep. I mean, and the 2 that we just had, we don't really know when she nested, but the high tide washed away all the tracks in the wet sand. So it was just dry sand. The first one was very hard to distinguish where she went. Because leatherbacks just like travel all over the place. So that was very hard. The second one was pretty good. She was nice and tidy. She came up, did her thing, and left. She was good. But we have other nests. That's how we identify them, is how their crawl is. A loggerhead kind of crawls like this, so she has like commas. And then a green pushes sand like this, and the green lays this, it looks like a grenade went off in the hole. It's huge, huge. I don't even understand how they get out of it. But a loggerhead nest is nice and neat and tidy. A green is a mess with sand everywhere because her flump flippers are so big. And then the leatherback just looks like a Jeep got in there and did something. It's crazy. I mean, there's, like I said, the second nest was so ideal. It looks like a picture. But most of the time, they're not that nice.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we actually have different ways of locating where the nests are with a GPS, but that's part of nature. That's just, Mom lays 5 to 6 times a season, guaranteeing one of her clutches is going to make it. I mean, that's basically nature. If every turtle nest hatched, and I wish they would, but if every turtle nest hatched, well, no one would care about them because they'd be all over the place. So it's just, Mother Nature has a way of keeping things in balance.
So what is her gestation period time?
Well, 45 to 70 days.
She's holding.
We don't know. I mean, when she lays them,
That's the time,
yeah.
from the time she lays.
Oh, okay. I mean, like, if she's laying 5 times in a year,
Usually, she comes back every 2-3 years, maybe every other week. I mean, it's hard to say for sure because people guesstimate on all kinds of things. But there's nobody out there, saying that. Of course, we do because the nest is over there on that carpet and there's 2 weeks later it's over here. She's back! But, not really. We don't think so. But you don't know. They say that they, know, but with the leatherbacks, they can tell better because they monitor that at night. And they're monitoring turtles all night, and they check with the GPS, and they check with the pit-tag scanner, and they name them. But they're not that sophisticated yet.
I bet your volume is 70 eggs, and where in the turtle does she carry all?
Right? I know. And she's got more eggs in there. She's just saving them to get refertilized by the male out there.
So I'm thinking,
Tell them about the males and how they do.
Yeah, they never do come ashore. Yeah, they're like ping pong balls. And then she just stores them in there. But the males, boys, now they say there's more females than there's males because we have a warmer climate now. But nobody's ever had the real hard evidence, but that's what they say, and it could be true. But if that was totally true, I would think that all these eggs that are being laid, none of them would be fertile if there were more girls than boys. And some of them are infertile, but we don't know.
Boys, maybe busy boys.
Yeah, we don't know.
well, and then you fertilize by different.
Yes,
Daddies.
yep, all different, almost all the time.
How do you tell if the turtle is a girl or a boy?
Really, you can't tell. You can't tell until they're about 20, 25 years old. And then the way you can tell is the male has a real long tail. Female has a short tail. That's basically the only way, but it takes them all those years to know. All these turtles that are washing up on the beach now, which are anywhere from 5 to 10 years old, and they're small, they're only about this big, they don't know if they're boys or girls. No. I mean, they could test them, but it doesn't really matter,
For everybody,
Yeah.
for everybody that might be interested in reviewing the adoption forms, we have some here, so raise your hand.
Yay!
Wow, okay. And also, remember, this is a fundraiser and we're trying to get some money out of Marge, right? To donate to the Flagler Turtle Patrol. So all this helps. And I should have mentioned, and I apologize, there's free water and lemonade in the cooler back there. All you have to do is put a little donation in the box on top of the cooler. But go grab a drink, water or lemonade. And so let's do that. Anything else that I'm...
And this is perfect because this is how we do everything. We don't get any money from the state. We don't get things. This is how we buy ATVs. This is how we buy sheds. This is how we get our T-shirts. With your donations, that's like so important.
Are we at 250 because it's only 250?
I think it is, yeah.
So we're at
And I think it's now up to 350.
vehicles?
Oh, you luck, one.
Thank you.
Kind of the area, because I live on
Yes,
the beach.
it should say,
That's what I was looking
kind of a new form.
like if it could be between 14th and
Yep,
15th Street or something. Because last year
right here.
I adopted too late, and I did have one down, but it didn't matter to
Oh,
me.
you might be
I
getting
had
one.
like a 279.
Well, we can't adopt leatherbacks because they're never guaranteed.